Welcome to the Herb and Rick Social Hour. We invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the ponderings and musings of Herb Reed and Rick Hammond as they explore various and sundry topics, ideas, and experiences. We join this week's conversation already in progress.
All right, here we go. So anyway, you guys don't use the old CB language there as in your day-to-day activities?
What we do, we do, I mean, but it's 10 codes. 10 codes, you know, let's just say if it's armed robbery or something like that, you know, you have people out there in Skinnerland who like to be nosed and interfere sometime, Rick.
Oh, wow, I didn't think about that.
So we use 10 codes to try and cover up so they can't, you know, really get the details exactly what's going on. If it's armed robbery or, I don't like the word murder or something, we have 10 codes we use. So we know what we're going on. But the public, that's what scanners don't, you know, we try to keep it private.
Yeah,
you know?
that's amazing.
We don't want them getting in the way adding on, you know.
Well, that's kind of an odd way to start this one out. So let's lighten it up a little bit.
Let's do it. Let's talk about the minivan deal.
Oh, well, my whole point was I'm in the market, but my car fund got depleted by my tax bill this year.
Oh.
So I have to wait a little bit to replenish that, and then I'm back in the market. Were you selling one?
No, I just want you to join the minivan dads club. No, it's
important
I'm just
to you,
looking
is it?
yes, it is. Yeah, I think we look good in a minivan, though.
I know a lot of guys that really fight that. It doesn't really matter to me. I mean, I'm going to need it to haul equipment and stuff too. So.
And I know me and Dorita first got out, I hated it.
Oh yeah.
I hated it. But you know, the more kids you have, you appreciate it a lot more.
Oh yeah, I bet.
Double doors and everything like that. So.
Well, every now and then you need to borrow Kaylin's vehicle. That thing looks nice.
That little zipper head car.
What is it?
Fast and Furious car.
It's a BMW, isn't it?
No, it's an Acura.
Oh, okay. He's got me fooled.
One of those little zipper head cars.
I'm like, how is he driving that working down there at the Kroger?
He's got a budget that money well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he making payments on it?
Yes.
Oh, so you shouldn't let him do that.
He's got to make the payments, and we're trying to get now we can make the insurance payments. So we're on charging rent, Rick.
Yeah, so, I know. That's see, when I was 16, 17, I was charged rent. I was already working since 14. And
well, we had a deal with it. As long as he's going to school and working, he can, you know what I mean, we'll give him a little bit of slack, but if that ever stops,
yeah,
up to Ducky's, buddy.
Well, I tell you what, yeah, he's and I know y'all got that money tree out there in the Reed backyard.
Oh, the one that with the pennies and all.
Oh, it's just pennies. It's not a Dollar Tree.
No, it's a penny tree. Thank you very much. Yes.
Pennies. Well, at least you got that.
At least, I mean, pennies add up, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you look at the kids now, I have pennies all over my floor, Rick.
Why is that?
The girls, I mean, they just, if it's not silver or green.
Goodness.
Yes.
They need to be taught the value of a penny.
I'm trying, but it's hard, especially with the girls. They learned early from the mama, of
yeah,
course.
you are being you got a triple threat there. You have got to gain. You need a male dog in the house is what you need. See, I had to do that with Archie. I had to bring in the male dog to kind of offset the estrogen with some extra testosterone. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I do need that, Rick, because my estrogen levels do get up every now and then.
Because Kaylin's going to move out, and then you're up the creek and you got one in the backyard full of snakes. But
and that's when I'm coming to hang out with you, of course. But yeah, Rick, that's why I'm gonna keep my head shaved. The gray hair, buddy, it's already there.
Yeah?
It's already there. Yeah.
Oh man, it looks dazzling.
Is it wisdom? Of course,
that's what they say, right?
Wisdom. Yes.
See, as how mine's not gray yet. I ain't very wise, apparently.
Rick, you don't have any gray hair, do you? And see, mine is not long enough really to color yet. Of course, I have to go out thick like a backwoodsman or something before I can really color it. So
you're gonna go all Duck Dynasty on us?
I might later on, but this mustache is half gray over here, Rick, and then it's black. So I have to tinker with it a lot. So.
Yeah, that's well, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah,
wouldn't want that to happen here. So you're back at work. You're all healed up. Are you 100%?
Yes, no, I would probably say about 90-95%.
Okay. So yeah, again, I asked you a couple weeks ago. Are you showing them young bucks how to make it work, how to make it happen?
We're
down
still
there?
trying. It's tough. You know, like I said, we do have a lot of good. I'm gonna call them young men now. Okay, they stepped up into the service. Of not little boys, but they're learning. And like I say, it's just getting that mind to get that work ethic into them. Yeah. They can bring a lot of stuff, you know, to the plate. But, you know, sometimes they try and bring a little bit too much.
Right.
Yeah.
I hear you. And this is all. So they got to be putting Alabama on the map. They don't need to be shirking their duties, and then it's just like everybody goes, well, look at there. It's just the southern kids hanging out, chilling. They don't do nothing. It's hot and muggy down there.
But, you know, the way everything is going, if you look at public safety now, Rick, it's all going to the kids just about it. You know, they hire police officers. I mean, those are like safety kids.
Really?
You know, these guys, yes, carrying guns, and most of them live with mom and dad, go to high school, and some of them hadn't even had the work experience, you know. They go to school and probably a couple of years in college, apply to be a police officer, and hey, you're there. And these kids, I mean, they're different. They are different.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
Like in what way?
I guess just their mentality and stuff. You know, you have some of them, it's a power struggle sometimes. Those older guys, you know, we come in with everything. You know, our mind is set, and sometimes, you know, trying to buck the system, but these young guys trying to do buck the system. Like I say, they ask questions, but sometimes, you know, things, their mentality.
What kind of questions?
That's just, again, we question authority a lot. Why do we have to do this? Why do we have to do that? Things like that, you know, Rick, and like I said, with our generation, I mean, it was, yes, sir, we accepted what we had to do, and we rolled on with it. You know, we did it, we asked questions later.
Right.
That's what we did. But it's a learning thing. It's a learning thing.
Right. Well, I don't know, man. I don't know if maybe I'll have to hold back some pay from them or something to get them to wake up and jump.
They're already money hungry, Rick. You hold it back,
they're
up and going to something. Well, and you found a lot of these guys, you know, start off there in fire service, just for example. It's one of these things, it's a career. You have guys lined up to get these positions, okay? Especially, I mean, it's waited for years. It's sort of like a dream job to some of these guys, but then again, you give them to these young guys, they don't really appreciate it, you know, as much. If things really don't go their way, you know, so to speak. And then,
what's an example of not going their way? I mean,
let's just say, here we go with
fight enough fires?
No, we won't say it, but like I say, it goes with the authority type deal before. You know, well, why do we have to earn our keep, so to speak? You know, we all had to start somewhere. Like I say, it's sort of Army uniform. You work your way up the ranks, dishes, daily duties, and everything.
I guess there's an instilling of respect within that hierarchy.
And you know it is. And like I say, a lot of this stuff you learn is something they learn from mom. I mean, if they've been living with mom and daddy the whole time, hadn't really had to have any true responsibilities, and they come out here, welcome to the working world. Wake up. Hello.
We need those dishes washed, and we need blah, blah.
What
about the glory of firefighting and going to the accident scenes?
And that comes along with it, okay? And most of these guys, like I said, they're eager to get in there and go.
Right.
You know, like I said, with the things they're teaching in the academy, I mean, sometimes they broke away from what we used to, the live house burns, to where we actually burn out, because a lot of accidents happen that you really don't want to happen. So a lot of these things that these guys are doing, they're simulating a lot of things.
Oh, okay.
Not really putting them in the true environment. You know, like I say, it's really, you know, like I say, it's one thing to be prepared, but, you know, with different scenarios you get, it's just, you know, we try to keep it as realistic training as we can for them.
Well, how long, when you started that, I'm thinking, how long between, what's the longest you've ever gone while you're on duty, even if you come and go, without any kind of call? I mean, is there
very, very seldom? I mean,
so there's something every shift.
Just about. You may not have structure fires now coming less and less with us being proactive, you know, reaching the public and everything.
Modern sprinklers and technology.
Educate them and things like that. You don't have them as much. People are a bit more, you know, more aware of fire safety now. But the things we run now is medical calls, car wrecks.
Yeah.
You love the things that come along with it. But fires, you know, you get them. Well, we're at probably, 1 or 2 a month maybe, if that.
Oh, that's nice.
And sometimes maybe a little bit more, but when it get to going, you got to go.
I hear you. All right, so this lady, Jacqueline, she kept the kids here last week when we recorded?
Yes, she did. She made it possible, Rick, for us to get kicked off, of course, because we've been waiting. It's just
exactly. Thank God for appreciating.
And I know my schedule finally, you know, allowed me to it, Rick. I wasn't trying to run or anything. Not like I was scared. Yes, I was. But, but yeah, she did good. She stepped up and kept the kids. And like I say, past year since we, she's a really good person, though. Really good person.
Well, what were you sharing? I don't think I knew her son. You said he passed away recently.
Yeah, he of a drug overdose.
Yeah.
It's one reason now she's wanting to come up, you know, with a fundraiser, 501k for opiate awareness.
All right.
You know, because it is starting to be, It's been a big epidemic here in Tennessee.
It seems like
for
a
a while.
60s, 1960s drug to
It
me.
does, but you know
It's
what?
like, you're talking about like heroin, right?
Yes, you got heroin coming back. You know, was what the crystal methamphetamine,
Right.
and all that stuff. But you know, now the laws are cracking down on people chronic pain conditions. You know, stuff like that. You know, it's a
Right.
big thing. They were going to the doctor's shop, you know, to get pain medication. And now the laws are a whole lot stricter. They're cutting back, and they keep a record of all this stuff. So people now are turning more, here we go again, toward the street drugs.
Oh boy.
Whole lot more easy, you know. They get this stuff and they just go wild with it, you know. They get to liking it.
Do we know if he was shooting it?
Well, I have no clue.
How else do you? I can't remember. Can you smoke heroin? Is it
You
just-
can smoke heroin. I think you can inhale it.
Okay.
It's so it's different routes that you can take with this
Jeez.
stuff, because you know what it does when they get it in their system, get in the brain, that converts over to morphine, so to speak.
Right.
And you know, when they shoot it up, a matter of seconds before you get that high and go into that. And that's what we catch a lot of them when people call us, is that first little shot and they knock the respiratory drive out.
Oh boy.
And they call out, you get there, and I mean, it's just like, but we have something.
I remember it. Yeah. No,
Yeah, we give a medicine, to reverse it, because like I said, it's circling the drain at this point, but it's become so bad now with the heroin that they are starting to issue Narcan, which is it's an antagonist, you know, it reverses the side effects of opiates and everything. So let's just say,
So would they just, like, let's say, I mean, drug abusers keep that on hand?
I wouldn't say not all, but it's getting back to where if they can't get their pain medication, if they have failed out of pain clinics or something, you know, they're going to go to the most easiest resource, because it's an addiction.
But I'm talking about the counteracting. Who has that?
The Narcan. We carried as parents, and now that they're giving it to police officers.
Okay.
And giving it to where even family members can have it on hand to reverse this stuff, because like I said, it acts quick. But the only thing I gotta worry about with it, when you push that and acts against it, people are gonna be mad because you're taking away that high. But if
man,
they gonna come back through like they never.
I remember they were saying when we were growing up, the addiction rate on that is so fast, like that, and cocaine, I think,
Yeah.
is pretty hectic too. I mean, within a couple of uses, you're like, you can't stop.
No, I'd like to say what the crack, once you are going to be just that quick, the euphoria. But like to say, after the first time, it's hard to catch it. It's hard to catch yourself there trying to chase and catch it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, when you were in school in South Alabama, wherever you were at, I can't remember.
Just down the street, yeah.
Okay,
I
just
grew up
down
in the
the
country,
street.
of course.
I mean, they would show us some of those anti-drug films, and I can remember, watching them going, and even like remember the driver's ed films
Yeah.
they'd show us, mechanized death and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They do the same thing with drug films, and it's like, well, you can think you want to dabble with this heroin. First off, you got to get past shooting yourself with a needle.
Right. and
Secondly,
that's-
then they show kind of, sort of, I mean, this was like 70s. But they would show the effects of. I mean, everybody vomits apparently when you shoot it in.
That, or when they run out of it, Rick.
Yeah.
It's more of the withdrawals that they never want, because it's, I guess, a pain. The nausea, vomiting, they sluggish. You know what I mean? They don't have that high. Yes,
craving it.
it's like they don't have the little tweak. You know what I mean? They get on there, and then once they don't have it, that's when they go crazy. I mean,
Yeah, I hear you.
it
man.
would suck. But I guess, and now, like I say, you still got the marijuana thing, but I don't know. It's so many people doing it from every class too now.
Oh yeah.
But
yeah, I mean that to me has been. It's amazing how it's permeated through society for this long.
it has. But with the trouble and everything on, I don't know. Like I said, you got marijuana legalized in some places, Rick.
True.
And I can be quite, like I say, and I have ran people that it benefits. Again, it does as far as statistic wise, I never heard anybody doing anything crazy on marijuana.
Well,
It's like they
that's true.
chilled and
I mean,
laid back.
We had a lady. She's an older lady I work with. She's probably not too far from retiring, but her and her husband just went to Amsterdam this year. She did not know the drug culture there. Hashish and marijuana. You
Yeah.
just go into a coffee shop and order that, and they'll bring it over and tell you what kind do you want, to smoke or whatever. It's like it's so legal. It's like going to a restaurant.
So was it the best vacation for life?
She was like kind of shocked on that, and she wasn't too far from that Brussels terrorist
Wow.
attack either.
Okay.
They
So
were asked to stay out of that area. So she's like, I ain't going over there. But so it was interesting. She saw. I mean, they went over. There's apparently, I think, a tulip festival or something. Some
tulip
beautiful
festival.
flowers and stuff. So I mean, it was really what was of interest to her. No, she wasn't over there for the legalized prostitution and drugs.
I got you. Yeah. And that's Caleb was the way. I mean, teenagers. When he's 20 years old, but he
Right.
come from that well, I think I want to move to California, go into business and open up my own medical marijuana. I'm thinking, come on, Rick.
Well,
And I told him, I said, son, well, if you get the facts that convince, people that it's, and he actually did it for a minute. Then again,
he was collecting the facts and trying to set up a business model to run the business.
Tried to where, he wanted to try and get to it a bit, but you know me, and I know a 20-year-old too sometime.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's, where it's most prominent would be Colorado at the moment, I think.
Probably, I think that'll be the closest, yes.
I guess California does have some of that as well going on.
And like I say, I've ran car wrecks with people that's been drinking, that's been on a while, but pot, I just hadn't seen. I mean, like I say, just like it's a chilling type deal.
Yeah, not as
an herbal plant or whatever, but it's just one of those things I just can't twinkle with,
Well, yeah, the big fat libertarian streak in me says do whatever you want to do, and as Frank Zappa said, as long as it doesn't cause a murder.
And that said, I wouldn't mind like something to chill, but I don't like to used to.
When you went to concerts and stuff, I mean, there had to have been kids that were getting high around you and stuff.
Me, Rick, I hung around a good crowd. Now, of course.
Okay,
I'm just playing now.
You guys were all in it.
But you did, and I'm quite sure, yes, I did get it secondhand, And
yeah. I mean, it was a pretty big culture.
And actually, happened on a call, Rick. I got high on a call working as a paramedic.
Did you not know?
We did, and not until the guy, it was in a van, and it was still smoking, buddy. We're here trying to treat this guy because his leg was sort of stuck, and it's like, what's that smell? And then next day, things got to looking dreamy and just started laughing. Rick, it was crazy. Become the thing, and it's like, dude, you've been smoking pot, yeah, and then you sit up here just laughing.
Well, not intentionally.
No, you wouldn't, dude. We're gonna get your leg, the pedal wrapped around his leg, about to fall. Your leg is gonna fall.
Laughing at him and pointing at him and just.
You up creek without a paddle, buddy.
Like that Andy Griffith episode where they went to bust up the still, and Andy was drinking from the still as it was busting. Was it Andy or?
I can't remember, but Rick, that was the first, and that was a trip. So it was a big thing, and it happened to a few other people, but and you couldn't stop laughing, bro. And you felt good, but that's what it was, because it's still that saturated in the van and everything. Right. And when I think he still had a piece of a joint that was laying over it, he's sitting in there, and he wasn't screaming, he was beaming up, he was feeling pretty good, Rick. And then we happened to feel pretty good.
I got a rod that's going through my thigh. Can you guys get that out of there before I come
You got a rod? Good luck, buddy. But, man, we laughed all the way but we ended up having to call the supervisor and all this stuff.
And then did you end up at the donut shop or something?
You did get we had crystals. I got a sack full of them, I think, for later on that night.
Oh, not crystal meth. Just
crystal meth burgers, no. Yeah. Crystal's the hamburger.
Crystal,
yeah, let me make a correction on that.
So you went straight to...
but I
so did somebody have to come get you?
No,
you were there long enough to...
We got him to the hospital. Safely. My partner, she did a good job of it, but in the back, bro, I felt pretty good. You know what I mean? I was like,
I take your word for it.
I was, yeah.
Well, that was never my...
So that's that secondhand smoke you get every now,
right.
But it was unknown, to me. I wasn't new.
Okay, well, did y'all do any drinking when you were growing up as kids down there?
Yes.
Yeah. And that was pretty much where we were at.
And wasn't that far ago. I was born in 7, but I had my first beer. No, I was probably about 18. I waited. It was about 18.
Well, we had one of our friends had somebody's brother's fake ID, and so by about 16 or so, we were. And remember, back in the day, it was 18 was legal.
It's been a while though, hadn't it?
Yeah, I remember back when they had. You could drink in the car, and when they finally said there's going to be no more drinking in the car, I remember them coming on the radio saying this will be the last day you can crack that beer on the way home.
What was it, beer or just alcohol?
I think it was just beer.
Just beer,
probably beer. But this was what was this? This would have had to have been the early '80s, I guess.
Okay,
but it was legal to drive.
Well, it's like that over in Germany now, wouldn't it? Kids,
is.
16, so kids getting a buzz.
Yeah, no. One of my friends grew up there. He's like, it's in vending machines. It doesn't matter
just
how old
like
you are.
Cokes
You just go
and
get
everything.
it. Exactly.
Wow.
And so, that's probably the alcoholic rate over there so through the roof.
But starting it early, I was about 18 when I did. And I also did the tobacco thing, or until my grandmother caught me, and that was around 15.
Okay.
Because she used to be a snuff dip, her, and she knew it, and
So have you seen that? There's a comedian that does a thing on that where I think it's Norm Macdonald talks about his dad caught him smoking cigarettes, so he made him smoke the whole pack.
That's what
and then
happened.
His dad caught him shooting heroin and made him shoot
Oh.
off. I mean, it was a joke with something like that.
But yeah, that's what happened to me. And she called me doing so you liked it, huh? And I sit there and I dip the whole key in. Don't spit, boy. You're going to swallow like a man.
Oh, no.
Oh, Rick, I was sick, head swimming. I mean, just,
So did that stop you?
It did for a while. Of course, it stopped me for about a week because my stomach was tore, Rick.
Oh,
It took
I
a
bet.
minute, but
Now, my grandmother was a nurse, my grandmother and aunt, but I remember this was one of the things that kept me from even caring. I didn't really, drug use was not really something that really fascinated me.
Right.
But my grandmother was a nurse and she would be in there when some people would come in that were OD'd and just out of their minds. She would tell us some stories and it'd be like, I don't ever want to have to deal with that.
Oh, it
so
is.
mission accomplished.
Yeah.
All she did was tell me about her, what she had to deal with.
And that's why I try to tell, kids, but with that, like I say, it's different sometimes. And I share a lot of stuff with her. You'd be surprised, peyote. Is it made out of mushroom? What is it made out of?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's
And I've
mushrooms.
seen some, just
Wow.
crazy stuff, Rick. I mean, so it's out there. And like I say, the only thing, I had to drink a little bit, when I was,
Right.
but,
yeah,
I was just one of those, try to keep it safe.
My brother, he's 4 years younger than me, and it was still 18 was the legal age when I was 18 or 19. He went down to the DMV, said he was me because he was about the same
See, I'll
size.
look.
I've lost my license. I'm Rick Hammond. Lost my license, and I need to get a new license. He had to take the test again. He was one question away from losing my license. I never knew this.
Wow. So
He
when did
told
you
me
find out?
He told me years later, and it was obviously it was funny then. But had he lost my daggum license,
Wow,
I'd have been like, "What the heck's going on?" Well, you came down to get a new license and you didn't pass the test.
wow, and he didn't tell you.
And then he's out there all the time buying beer, and I'm like, "How's he doing this?"
See, and
He
I
had
had
my
your license getting the whole. And I had a friend that did that too. Him and his brother looked just alike. They looked exactly alike. And he would go out, and use his brother's license, get beer and everything,
Yep.
and I didn't know it for until he said, "Man, I'm using it," but they looked exactly alike though.
Yeah,
But-
and then, you can only do so much. So our vast research staff has let me know that peyote is cactus.
It's a cactus plant.
Isn't that what we get tequila from? Which therein in itself is its
What
own
that
drug.
yes, I think that tequila, and I've drunk the worm before. You ever drunk the worm?
Yeah, it's Cusano Rojo, right? The red worm.
I think, whatever. But
Yeah, I've bit the head off of the worm before.
did you? Did
Yeah.
you go into a different world? I think I did.
No, I didn't
I
go
started hallucinating or something, I think.
Well, no, we were just.
I think it was just
I
drunk.
don't think
though.
we didn't really go that far. I don't know what you probably drank the whole quart.
That I chewed up the worm and I went into a different. I don't know, like a what do you call those? I went into a different world.
You were
Rick.
definitely
I was
euphoric.
hallucinating. Yes, a shaman. Those
Oh,
things
there
that go
you
a different world. That's what I'm looking for. A shaman or shaman.
There's nothing
What
that sounds funnier to me than a shaman named Herb. Herb the shaman.
I can predict your future at that time, but I did some stuff, Rick. I mean, I can't even bring what all that. I was talking,
yeah, the
but
kids
yeah,
might be listening to this one day. We got to roll this back a little bit.
Don't drink the worm.
So we want to pick up on some summertime activities that are coming up because it's starting to warm up down here.
And I can't wait, Rick. I'm ready.
Yeah.
Ready to hit the swimming pool with the girls and
So
everything.
y'all go up to the rec center?
I try to get them up there, once or twice a week, just depending, when I come off shift and everything.
Yeah.
I'll sort of get them up there, swimming, just getting ready for the beach and stuff.
It's a fun place. I mean, we don't go a whole lot. Lily likes to go, but we don't. I mean, we'll try and get her up there a couple times a month. Do y'all buy a membership?
Yes, we get memberships and basically for the pool reason, Rick.
Yeah.
But the thing of it is, we go, I have to time it just right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
'Cause?
because I've got to have an umbrella, bro.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't need any
Not
more.
down.
I don't need a tan, Rick. So
I
we got
got
to
you.
we have to race that umbrella and stuff.
Oh, that's right. Because they've got some, and if you don't get up there at the right time,
Enough time, then somebody else is gonna get them, and then you have me and the girls sitting out there baking, in the sun and everything.
Well, they're gonna get it. They're gonna get some sun in the pool, obviously, jumping around.
I know, but I appreciate our
You
tan
like to
right
keep-
now, though.
Yeah, you're good. I hear you. All right, yeah. See, that's on me.
See-
It's like I got to get rid of this pastiness. So
And you want to tan up a little bit, you know. And like I said, we got to get the umbrella. That's just opposite. It's like, go ahead.
We go to the beach or whatever too, and it's like you better already have something when you get down there because you're going to be out there for 10 or 12, not 10 or 12 hours, but you're going to be out there but most of the day. And for, Caucasian folks, it becomes. Madeline got sunburned 2 years ago.
That's what I was
she was
gonna
like,
say.
"This is horrible." Now I got sunburned all the time as a kid. Didn't care. You just keep going.
Right.
Just roll on. And then within a couple of days, it kind of flips over to a tan, and it's like, yeah, I'm fine.
And that's where you get the peely skin and everything,
You can. I think she might have gotten it that, not horribly, but got a little bit of some of those water bubble things.
Right.
And yeah. As kids, you didn't have all the sunblock when we were growing up. Or they not like they do now. It was just like.
Right, and that's the funny thing on the beach, Rick. I don't know if you ever pay attention now. And me, I'm just sort of observant because I just like to keep up with everything.
Yeah.
I was on the beach. Go ahead.
Well, no, I was going to say, where do you go?
No, we go to Destin, somewhere that's family oriented for the girls and everything. But we get out there bright and early before it get real hot and everything. And then again, us black folk, we disappear for a while.
Okay.
Then the next time you see us might be just before sundown, Rick. We got there when it open before it get hot, and then it's sundown.
Is this a common phenomenon I can look for, or is this the Reed phenomenon?
I just want you to look. Just look. It's not just us. It's all those.
Okay, I'll take your word for it. I'm trying to think
y'all get your tan and everything. We're out there trying to keep the complexion we have right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To keep from
all right,
getting a little.
You don't need to jack it up anymore. Yeah, I hear you. All right, so I didn't even think about it like that. Yeah, so I'll try and keep an eye out on that phenomenon. It's pretty. Trying to think. Yeah, you got people. People are so anti-tan nowadays. I don't think you got people that are sun bunnies anymore. You've seen some of those folks that just lived in the sun for years.
It's like leather.
Exactly.
Leather.
It's like wild. It's like, and at that point, it's kind of they're committed.
Yes, and see, I've seen women lose, beauty over there, Rick. They tan all the time, stay out there, and then, when they get, 40 and,
That's right.
I don't want to upset anybody.
I guess it's been about 20 years or so now that people have been kind of drifting away from the whole tan thing. When we go out now, the trick for Caucasian folks is do about 15 or 30 minutes a day for like a couple, 3, 4, 5 days. And then that way you start building up enough.
Right.
And then at a certain point, it's not that big a deal. But then now when we know we're going to be on the lake or the beach or whatever for a long period of time, we slap on the 30 SPF.
I got you.
And it's just like, we don't mess with that. So, but the girls like the beach. They like to swim in
Yes,
the ocean?
they do. Because I had to get before we went out, I had to get those girls swimming, Rick. Because, a lot of times, you get out there, they think they can swim and they can, and that's when we get in trouble.
Yeah, the ocean can be tricky.
It can. So I broke my kids at cycler, and I still got to work on Dorita.
Okay.
She still hadn't got to come, but, she can float a tray of water pretty good.
Well, there you go. That'll the thing, what I hear, now you tell me about Destin. I don't know. It's is that on the Gulf side of Florida?
Let me. I think it. It's not too far. I don't think from the Gulf shores. It's
okay.
Close
So you guys are in the Gulf of Mexico.
I think, Rick, you may have to correct me on that, okay? Yeah. But I know all I just know is Dorita Bucket. We go to Destin because it's family. Like I said, more family where you don't have a lot of the young crowd. That party
college
crowd,
party,
yes, so to speak.
Right, yeah.
So, like I said, we get out there where the girls can enjoy and have a good time and everything. But the only thing you have to race out there early to get space because sometimes it's limited on these public beaches, and then you pay $40 or $50 to get one of these umbrellas that you rent all day. That's a ripoff, Rick.
Y'all need to carry an extra one with you. Yeah. So let me think here. Yeah. Now we went to the Gulf once so far. We really had a good time. It was nice. We were in Pensacola. Okay. Typically, we go to the Atlantic because I got family over in South Carolina.
Right.
Grew up and we'd always be over there on that coast. It's the water's more violent in the Atlantic than it is in the Gulf. The Gulf, it seems tamer. A
little bit more calmer.
Yeah.
And I guess it knows that, too, up north we went to Virginia Beach.
Right. Oh, yeah.
And it seemed a whole lot, like I say, just tougher and everything.
Yeah, it is. You get a summer thunderstorm, 15 miles off the coast, and this even churns up the water even more.
I was a little bit more paranoid when we had the girls up there because I think Camille, she was... I'm trying to see, Rick, 3 or 4 years old. We bought her one of those little paddle boat things.
Oh,
and, you had Dorita and my sister-in-law deep in a conversation. I'm sitting there watching the baby, but now I'm about 34 yards away from her. And I see her with this little board just looking at the waves and stuff and had the little ankle thing on. It was like, she's sitting there really waiting to get washed out, and you're looking at these tides coming in, and I'm thinking, Dorita, I hope you see her. And then all of a sudden, Rick, I see some water coming out. I see my baby getting ready to push out. Oh, it took off like Superman. Here I'm dashing past Dorita, pretty much flipping over like a ninja and everything to get to it because, this little baby was going to go out to sea. I mean, she was actually starting to go, Rick. I just had to pull my little maneuvers, to get her back. But you're right, the water is a little bit more rougher on that side of it.
Yeah, it is. Now, I think the Gulf has riptides more so than Atlantic. I'm not positive, but you know the trick with the riptide, right? You know how to survive one?
Let's just say you swim with the current, sort of swim out at an angle, a curve in it, to get out of it. If you get caught beneath it.
You let it take you. You don't fight it, and you keep trying to go sideways until you break out of it, and you'll break free of it.
And that's what I told the girls, because I do a lot of reading and stuff to them. Some of the stuff, we train it and everything.
Right.
But like I said, Dorita, I don't know, I guess she's scared to get her hair wet, Rick.
So what about shark attacks? Y'all worried about that at all? No, because when we were down in the Gulf with Madeline, that water's a lot clearer. And we had the girls down there, and Madeline agreed to get in the ocean. And she saw for the first time it was a couple of baby stingrays swimming by her, and she was maybe knee-high water. And she was like, boom, I'm done, did not get in the rest of the week. She's like, I didn't know nature was that close.
Oh, it's beneath you. You get guys up in these helicopters, Rick, and we're sitting on the beach, twirling around having fun and everything, and the sharks are a whole lot closer than we realize.
Well, I'll tell you what, when we were younger in South Carolina, we'd have like aunts and uncles and some of the friends that we meet or whatever, and we'd get those blow up rubber rafts.
Yeah.
We'd get 10 or 12 of them, 15 of them bunched together, and we'd just drift out until we could barely see the horizon, and all the houses looked like they were little sticks coming up out of sand.
Y'all are brave, Rick.
We didn't know. I mean, and we were like, well, if a shark comes, we'll figure out how to deal with it. But
I'm just telling you, once people get to looking like ants on that beach and stuff.
Oh yeah, we were way out.
Yeah, brother man gonna start paddling back. I'm gonna start paddling back very quick, Rick. Kind of those drifts and we're further out.
No, everybody was doing it. It was just like everybody's chilling and we're all hanging on and just trying to relax and
so any lifeguards, anything,
They don't have that most of the time on the Atlantic.
And something you get caught out. How long does it take the Coast Guard or somebody to respond? You know what I mean? To get out.
That's a great point. We obviously didn't think about it. Well, I'll tell you another thing. My dad would surf fish. When you go down there with kind of the bigger open face rods that you use for salt water, and he would have his bait was shrimp, and he'd have that in his pockets of his bathing suit, and he'd wade out about chest high so he could get his line way out far, and then he'd come back in, and he's got this shrimp in his pants pockets. Just drifting that scent.
And that's what I'm thinking. Isn't that like a sitting duck syndrome where he's...
On more than one occasion, he's reeled in fish with sharks following it.
Wow.
Or shark, catching small ones, maybe 2-3 feet long, but still, I mean, he's out, and he's like, all the shark attacks that have been coming up in recent years. He's like, I never would have thought of. I should have. I don't know what I was thinking.
Listen out there with that shrimp appetizer, getting a man. You talking about man running on water at that time? Yeah, it would have been me, Rick, trucking it. Made history, buddy.
That's right. There you go.
But yeah, it's just we want to think safety. That's what we try to do with the girls and everything.
Well, that's a smart way to go, man.
Yeah.
We hope you've enjoyed this week's Herb and Rick Social Hour.